Hi guys, this is Stefan Jorgensen, the Code Chameleon, back with another raw, unedited video showing you how a real developer works. Today I'm gonna attack a very, very normal problem as a developer. You have this class, and I think you all know that you're in the zone, just going at it, and all of a sudden you realize, well, this is a bloody mess that I've made. And that's the situation that I find myself in today. So I'm gonna try to recover a little bit. The class that I'm looking at has almost no unit tests at all, because it's a result of like an exploratory phase where I was looking into what a certain API could return from the API. So it was more of a trial and error session, and I didn't really bother doing any unit tests. However, that's not really a good way to go. I prefer to have a pretty thorough unit test suite covering my code. So we're going to do that today. And also, I suspect that there might be some possibilities to kind of structure the code a little bit better. So I'm also going to look into that probably. But the plan is to do a Pomodoro session of 50 minutes, and yeah, let's see how far we get. So I'm just gonna start my Pomodoro session here. You can follow the time up in the corner up here. So the class in question is the data aggregation service, and I left off. Let me just minimize this. Give us a little bit more space. I left off with this one unit test on the class, which is actually failing as far as I remember. Let's just try to run it. I think it's failing. Yeah, it is failing. Okay, so that's fair enough. One of the problems that I want to look at is that this data aggregation service has one public method called collect data async, and that is basically just a while loop that is running while the cancellation token is not revoked. And the problem here is that I want to poll the API every 1,000 milliseconds, so once a second. The problem with all my unit tests are actually caught is in this loop. So I think I want to make maybe like a facade class that actually just has this loop functionality, but all this juicy stuff, all the real work has to happen in another class, so that we can just unit test the class with the data collection worker code in it. Right now I have a very like a bad solution. I cancel my cancellation token after a few hundred milliseconds, so that we don't get caught in this while loop and we actually get down to the assert. But I think that's a problem that we will look into a little bit later. At least I want to have this one passing at first. So let's see what happens. I have this way of naming my tests so that it's actually readable. So if you always start reading the class name, data aggregation service should, and then the method name of the test, call create runner async when market book does not have any runners. So basically this is I want to test that. Let's see, where is it? Create runners async. This method is called. I'm not sure why I started there actually, because there's a lot of stuff going on up here. Oops. Maybe we should start with that actually. Maybe do a little bit more of the initial work here. So if no market is returned, obviously I just return. So we want to verify, we want to assert that the create markets are not called. Maybe it would be a good idea to start with that. You know what? I'm thinking I want to do that instead. So let's just start with doing the test from the top. Although I gotta say, this really annoys me. I need to have this every time. Maybe we should do I should move the code already now. so that we have a data aggregation service which has this worker method as a public method instead. I think I will do that actually. I think what I want to do is basically, I want to make a facade class here, public class, data miner facade. So this class will be very, very simple and will only contain the while logic, public basic task, and what should we call the method? Basically this. That. Okay, and I just need this one here. So this way I have my loop logic here. This is not doing anything else but basically calling the data aggregation service. Oh, I don't like that name either. Gotta say, I like miner better. Go with that instead. Yes, please. This one. Yeah. This one. Do like that better. Okay, and then I just want to do that. So I just basically move all the stuff in the private method to be basically the public facing method on the data miner service. Okay. So here. Okay, good. I think that's a good start. I'm just gonna move this to its own class. That. Right. And let's just, I'm just gonna make a small commit with this. Minor refactoring. Let's go data minor facade. Far so good. Okay, good. So let's get back to the tests over here. Okay, we just need to. This is well data. Good. That's good. So I want to make a new test, and the first test that we want to do is basically testing that this if is there. So we don't want to create markets, we don't want to do anything else. So if there's no market returns from the API, we basically just want to abort or don't do anything else, right? And the way we can do this is basically looking into, okay, what do we do in the create markets? we are calling the marker repository and stuff like that. So we can actually just test that this method is never called, or this, if you want to do that. Either way, it's the same. I think we're going to do that because we could have continue here or something. Yeah. We just want to make sure that the repository is never called. All right, so let's do that. Theory. So domain data. This is just some plumbing that ensures us that we can inject everything as a parameter to the test class. Async task and should. Okay, what do we want to test? We want to test that if no markets are returned, then we just return at once. Data miner service should not should short circuit when no market is returned. That. And what do we need? Obviously, we need the sut. Here, and I think we need some frozen market repository. Yes, it is. So let's just check this method, get markets. So we want to set up this get markets async to never return anything. So we do range mark setup. When we call gets market asyncs, yes, please. Yeah, with anything, I guess here. So it doesn't really matter what we give it. We always want to return nothing. Oh, it's the market client, not the market repository. Okay, what's the next one? It says array string. Async and just a new list. So that's an empty list. So that should return an empty market list. Good. And we want to do act sut.data async. Some data here. Yeah. Do we have a cancellation token? Yes, we do. So let's just do this one here. That. Yeah, let's await this. Assert. And now we want to assert that we get an empty market array back, which is validated in this method here. So we want to take the next line where we can actually kind of listen to what actions has been made against a one of the interfaces that we can mock. So in create a market, we have a for loop, and we want to make sure that get markets are never called. So on the market repository, we need that. Repository, please. Repository. Oh, yeah, verify. It's a string. So we want to verify that this has never happened. And the best way to do this when you're doing all these tests, it's very important that you actually see the test fail. So what I want to do here is essentially removing this line of code that returns if no markets are returned. Because we won't see that. Okay, this is interesting because I will get an empty array here. We'll get into this method. And then we want to iterate over all the markets. And that is an empty. Okay, so that won't work. Interesting. So what else can we do here? Relevance markets. Okay, we can check the market filter. Maybe that's better. My market filter. Let's do that instead. Because we know this will always be called. So filter instead. What is it called? It is called filter markets with okay, so that should do it. You want to ensure that it's never called, and it would be called now because maybe let's just debug it. I think this should work. Why did you not? Didn't I go debug? I would expect us to hit this breakpoint here. That's not. Here, just remove myself. Expected invocation of the mark should never have been performed. Yes, but why are you not debugging, my friend? What? What's going wrong here? Huh? That's weird. Oh well. Here we are. So, we get the markets back, and there are no markets at all. We have commented out there the check for no markets, so we go into the create markets, and that's the first caveat. Because I get in here, it's not null, but there's no markets here, so it's just gonna skip this for each. So we can't test on that. Oh, and then I skipped the the get relevant markets. The get relevant markets actually has the misclick. it calls the get relevant markets, and this is basically what we're listening on. So let me just go back here. So here. Let's see if we hit our breakpoint this time. We do. So we call the get relevant markets, and this is the method that we are listening on in our assert here. Sorry, in our verify. And this should not be called, but it is because we have commented out this, and then our test fails. Expected invocation of the mock should never have been performed, but one time, so we called it one time. But if we reintroduce this bar clause, run the test again, we should see a passing test. Yay, great. And what I do in my commits here, I just basically in the commit message is just the method name of the new test that I just wrote. I don't want to be like more explicit than that. Backtrack a little bit when I need it. Good. Okay. Step 1 done. Great. Just gonna have a can of Coke. Oops. All right. All right. Next up. So if we get some markets back, we want to make sure that we actually create those markets. Okay. Let's do that. You please. Thank you. It's going to be a lot of the same we need here. I'm just going to copy paste this. We should create markets. Then markets has been returned. Right. So essentially what we want to check here is that we call... Okay, so there's two paths here. The first path is if a market does not exist in the database. So if this is null after we try to retrieve it from the database, we call create market. And the other path is essentially we ask the database, do you know this market? And it returns a market. And then we want to make sure that we do not call this. Okay, so there's two paths here that we have to cover. Let's look into that. Let's start with first things first. Let's assume that the market repository never returns a market, but calls the create market async. Let's do that. Okay. So we have a market repository. No, we do not. Don't need that one anymore. Yes, please, the market repository. And I also need a list of markets, because now we want the market client to actually return some markets from us. So let's just do market array markets. Yeah, that should be returned here. So now I'm configuring it to, no matter what, the market client will return our markets when you call the get markets async. So an auto fixture will automatically, I think it generates 3 markets or something like that by default if you don't tell it otherwise. So we get an array back with some markets in it, and that should essentially allow us to get into this for each. Good, collect data, that's fine. And now we want to ensure that we call the market repository.create market async the same number of times that we have markets in this array. I was just wondering, I think I need to set up the market repository to always return null here. no matter what. Yeah, I do. So market repository setup. Sometimes Pilot is a little bit too clever. And this is basically is any string returns null. Let me just. I'm not allowed to do that. I'm not allowed to return null. That's simple as it. That? No, I am not. Well, I know that. I want to ensure that. Huh. How do I return set up a mock to return? Interesting. Let's see. Oh, I have to cast it. Cast it, okay. Okay, good. So now we return null each time we call this method, no matter what. So we get null back. This will not be called because it's null, and then we should hit our create market async. So the last part is basically the assert, which would look something like market repository mock. I have shouldly, right? Okay, so we could do create. Repository? Market repository. Can I do this? I wonder how you do that. Oh, well. You know what? Let's figure it out. Shouldly assert number of calls. Exceptions, no. Multiple assertions, no. Collections, no. Huh. posted it. Is this Shootly? Let's see what Thomas Ardal he says. Oh well, I don't know. Let's just do it the old-fashioned way. Let's see, I think this is what we need actually. So verify. We've called it with the market links. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna remove the calls, so we should see a failing test. See? Nope. Well, it fails, obviously, and it should. What is the other one called? Create runners async. Oh, it's the other one. Yeah, okay, I know that's failing. Okay, fair enough. So it's failing. Great. Let's just try to add the call. We're good. Great. Another one in the book. Let's just commit that. Great. And next up is the situation where the market repository actually returns a market. So we already have it in the database. We want to make sure that this is not called. So it's pretty much the same, except that we want to change it so that we don't return null here. We actually return a market. Doesn't matter what market. Oh, I have some naming here. Should create markets when markets does not exist. Create markets when markets exists. Good. So essentially, I just want to market here. It doesn't matter which market I return. I just basically want to return a market of some sort. So I'm just going to do it like this. So each time we call the repository mock, the market repository mock, we will return a market. But because essentially we're just testing, is the market null? Then continue. Then we don't hit this this line of code. Good. And I want to make sure that we never call create market async, and let's just make sure that we fail. So I remove the line of code that actually tests if the market from the DB is not null. Let's run the tests. Running. See two failing, the one we know. This one, yeah. So we call it 3 times, obviously, because we have the line of code that prevents that commented out. Let's run it again. We're good. Great stuff. That's that one. Let's just go with that. All right. We're making progress. So that was the create markets that we tested now. So now we know that if the database does not know the market, we create it, and if it already has the market, we just skip it. Good. Then we want to get the relevant markets. And that was the market filter. Not really much we can do here. I suppose we should have some unit tests on the market filter, but that's a task for another day. I don't think we have that, to be honest. Or do we? Oh, we have actually. We also already have tests on that. Okay. Well done, Stefan. Here, right? Okay, so we have a short circuit here. If there are no relevant markets, we just return. So could we make sure that... So this method is only called if there are any relevant markets. So we could verify the short circuit by testing that the request market price async is never called. I think that would be a fair assumption. You know what? I'm just gonna comment out this bit because we know it's a failing test, and we'll get to that later in a little while. But it's annoying me that we have a red test. It's confusing. Let's see. Pretty much the same here, except we want to should not call should not request market prices when no markets. Well, all markets are filtered, I guess. Like that. Great. Okay, so essentially do we have the market book client? We do. So the verification is essentially that one. Where's the market repository? Where's the market client, please? Thank you. Market book client. Oh, obviously it's another client. Please. So that one. Thank you. Very fun. What is the method signature here? String of array of strings. String. Good. Yes. Now we just have to make sure that the filter, which we have up here, need the filter again, because that filter should not return anything. Set up. No, test. Sorry, the verification that we did on that. Market. Mark. Setup. Filter markets. It's wait. line. So we just tell the market filter, no matter what, just return an empty array of market. Good. So let's just back up a bit. Let's just back up a bit. So we should get an empty array of markets here now. And this is the short circuit that we want to verify. So I'm gonna comment that out. And then the code will run into the get market books. And essentially call the request market price async with all the market IDs, the strings basically. There's a string array here. So this should be failing now. Let's run all the tests and see what happens. Yep, it fails. Just like expected. I will comment that in. So now if there are no relevant markets, we should short circuit and just return. Run the tests again. Good. Just a quick commit. All right, next up, let's see what happens next. So if we do get relevant markets back, we should verify that we call the get market books with all the relevant markets. Yeah. All right, so essentially that means that we have to set up our filter mock to now return some markets. Now, I could just tell it to return all the markets. Oh, let me just create a new test before I continue. Now we want to request market prices for all markets. So we want to request the market prices when prices with all filtered markets like that. So I want to make sure that my market filter returns some markets. We could just do it with these markets. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that. We could do it with a subset of that array, but I'm not sure that would make any sense really. I just want to make sure that the array of markets that are passed to the request market price async is correct, essentially. So instead of any strings, I want to do it only with the Betfair market IDs. So I'm just gonna snag this little bit. Use it here instead. Oh my god. So this will verify that the exact params that are given to the request market price async are the ones that are given from these from the array of markets and the Betfair market IDs that we extract from there. I'm just wondering, should we give a better name? Or is it? You know what? I think that's okay. Let's just short circuit this and return. Oh, yeah, whatever. I'm just doing this to ensure that we actually see the test fail. Let's run the test and see if it fails. It should fail. It does not. Interesting. Oh, hang on. Not never. So that's a good reason why it's very, very important to see a test fail. That was a copy-paste error by me. Obviously, it had never before because that was what was tested in the previous test. But now we want to verify that it's called once. So, save by the bell there. Let's run the test again. Should fail now. And it does. I'm going to remove the return null. Verify that. No, it still fails. Interesting. Okay, let's see. So we probably have an issue with this. Because it's an object, it's not the same. That's interesting. So essentially what's important here is that we want to verify that all the Betfair market IDs that are in this array of markets are in the list of market IDs that we give to the request market price async call. So now we have to test that. That's interesting. I believe that mock has a way of essentially saving the params that are given to the different method calls on the mocked objects. But I can't remember. Did I do maybe I think I think I made a blog post about that. Search arguments to method. Yeah, I think this is the one. Okay, this is fake it easy and not mock. Verify params passed to method on mock. The mock method verify does not return. It throws if the function is trying to verify wasn't called on the mock object. It's a void method. But the thing is, I want to verify that we pass the exact Betfair IDs, the Betfair market IDs. I'm just pondering how to actually Google this. It is. User or user repo verify. Verify. Okay. So if I understand this correctly, I'm just gonna this. It is. And then, okay, that's the 50 minutes. Let's just run this through. Let's see if we can get it working. Okay, you should know that this is a string array, right? Okay. Oh, is there a link expression to verify that two arrays contains the same elements? Two arrays contain the same primitive. It's kind of a compare, I guess, yeah. I would assume this is what we want, actually. So enumerable secrets equal. First one is x, and the other is that one. Line. Okay. That makes sense. So this should compare the two arrays. Let's see. Okay, that did the trick. Okay, so now we're verifying that we have the same Betfair IDs passed to the request market price async method. Let's just do a quick commit and wrap this session up. All right. Well, I think that was it for this time. Thanks for following along. If you enjoyed these sessions, please do drop a comment or a like. I really appreciate it. Yeah, well, until next time, keep coding, and remember that this stuff happens to all of us, so don't worry about it. Just keep chugging at it. Until next time, bye-bye.